Okay, hello and welcome to another in a series of our Lunch and Learn presentations sponsored by Clayton Valley Village, a nonprofit organization that is part of a network of over 400 villages nationwide. Villages help older adults stay in their own homes as they age by providing social and educational events as well as an array of home-based services through their volunteer network. Please visit our website at claytonvalleyvillage.org for more information about us and how you can become a member and or a volunteer. Today, we welcome Judy Disbrow, a Clayton Valley Village member who will share with us her process for decorating and creating beautiful designer birdhouses and small birdhouse ornaments. Judy worked in theater, creating costumes and wigs for 45 years, and has always been what she calls herself crafty. 4 years ago, she bought a couple of decorated birdhouses online, but then she noticed that Joanne's had unfinished birdhouses that she could paint and decorate herself. That's what got her started, and she's been making decorated birdhouses ever since. And she donates all the proceeds to her favorite charity, which she'll tell you about at the end of the presentation. All of our presentations are recorded and can be accessed on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Clayton Valley Village. During this presentation, everyone will be muted. If you have questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat feature. I'm being assisted today by Clayton Valley Village volunteer Nancy Hoffman, who will be monitoring the chat, and at the appropriate time will read the questions to Judy for her to answer. So please sit back, eat your lunch if you prepared one, and enjoy. Judy, take it away. It's all yours.
Hello, everyone. As she was saying, as Carol was saying, I started about, 4 years ago or so, and it's sort of taken off. I don't know, you get started, your creative juices start flowing, and you like, ooh, and you can hardly wait to go on to the next one. I unfortunately do not have the ability or the saws or anything like that to make my own. One day I'd like to learn how to do that, but I haven't yet found somebody who can help me with it. So in the meantime, I'm buying them either online at Amazon or Joann's, Michael's, and Hobby Lobby usually have a pretty good selection of both the large birdhouses and the small ones that you can make into ornaments. Here are some of the various birdhouses that are unfinished that I've gotten from various places. And there are some cute ones. Joann's usually carries these. It's like a watering pot, but it's a birdhouse. The lid does not come off, and it's all made of wood. And then several of them have these wonderful teardrop trailers that unfortunately I don't have any of them that I've decorated already, but they're fun. I make them sometimes look very tropical and bend a paper clip so it looks like it has an antenna on top and everything. And this is really fun to decorate. And then they have great big ones. I've only done this church once, but it has doors that you can open up, which is neat sometimes, because if you really do have a bird that nests in there and they're gone, you can clean it out. Some of the other ones are a little more difficult to clean out because you only have the hole to get into. All right. Once you have your birdhouse, you decide on the design you want to do. You can be inspired by other birdhouses you've seen online, or maybe something you've seen at R&M, the garden supply place and nursery. I don't know, the other day, a couple weeks ago, actually, I was sitting in my den and I got inspired. I like to collect these Talavera Mexican pots. So I was inspired by the design that are on the pots. And I did a couple of those that were sort of inspired that way. There's this one, which just has like the big sunflower on it. And this one that I just freehanded all these big flowers and on it and then painted it. But they're real cheery looking and it was fun. Sometimes you're inspired by nature. I haven't made any large birdhouses that way, but several of my Christmas ornament ones I've done with twigs and moss, and these are actually plastic things, but like this one are the spine things of a pine cone, as you can see. And I just cut those apart and glued them on. So you can be inspired by lots of different things. So once you've decided on what you want to do, you can either spray paint the base with spray acrylic paint, or you can buy acrylic paint in these small bottles and do that and just paint it on. Then once you have that, you can either stencil a design on. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I've taken a stencil and I've drawn it, I've traced it out with a pencil. This is the stencil that I was using. Or after you spray, this one was spray painted. After I did that, I went in and drew the design I wanted with a pencil, and I will paint in the colors and outlines and everything afterwards. So there are a couple ways you can do that. Or if you want to just paint the base and then apply all your decor. This one has applied hearts and butterflies and the stems and the little flowers. So you can do that too. There's many different ways. If you want to do the applied cutouts, these are some of the various cutouts that I've got. Some of them, like this one was a pre-painted butterfly. This is one I did myself. You can get these leaves are actually buttons, and they're pre-painted. And this star, which I've used as flowers, is already pre-painted. Or you can use, this is a button actually, that's a shank button. And I just cut the shank off the back and it mounts just fine. Here are some examples of how I'd use these. This has the flowers that I cut the shank off of, and I glued it on to the birdhouse. This one, I used the star buttons and made them into flowers, just drew stems and stuff like that. Let's see. For glue for the decor, I usually, if it's flat to flat surface, I go ahead and use Elmer's. Or if it's, I don't know, this is harder to work with. It's super glue with a brush because one, it dries very fast, and two, it's horrible when you get it on your fingers. But anyway, this also works really well. And if I'm applying things like twigs or things that have rounder surfaces, I use a glue gun, because a glue gun sort of surrounds the object and it's easier to glue on. Okay. So are there any questions so far? Nope.
I don't see any at this point, Judy.
Okay, fine.
I had a question. Can I ask it? Yeah, I'm unmuted now. When you said you spray things, my question, do you spray inside the paint
No,
or do you go outside?
I go outside. What I do is I spray it, and then it takes about an hour to fully dry, really, because it'll remain sticky. But I leave it outside during that time so that the fumes dissipate a little bit.
Okay.
You have to be a little careful. It depends on how you want to design it. If you spray it with paint, you have to make sure you have well, unless you're going to just glue decor on, you have to make sure that what you're going to paint on the surface will cover the underneath base. So, you know, sometimes it's, this one I sprayed, and I decided that I wanted the flower to be yellow. That took several coats because the underbase was blue. So it took me a lot of paint to get this to actually look yellow because the blue kept coming through. So it makes it real easy to spray the base. I mean, it takes you no time and you don't have to worry about the brush strokes and stuff, but it can limit you a little bit. It's great if you're gluing on most of your decor, however, because then you get great overall coverage and a nice surface to glue onto. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Oh, did I show you I don't know if did I show you these already? Yeah. Oh, and also something I didn't show you. They have I found these little wonderful bees and ladybugs online, and they're fun to apply. It's really nice. And it's fun to keep checking all the time to see what new things you can add to the birdhouses you're making. Okay, no more questions? All right. I store most of my cutouts and stuff in bins. I happen to order these on Amazon, but I know you can get them at Ace Hardware, and I'm sure Michael's and Hobby Lobby and Joann's all have these plastic bins that are all divided. And the ones where you can remove the side section so that you can make the bin, each section as big or as small as you want is really convenient. So that's something good to look for if you're going to do the bins. Oh, I found too, this has made my life somewhat easier. It's actually a turntable that you can get at Bed Bath & Beyond, but it's great for painting because you can just keep turning it all the time to do your painting and stuff, and you don't have to keep picking it up and turning it around all the time yourself. But I mean, I have a friend who makes jewelry, and she has one of these too. She's actually the one who suggested it to me because that way you don't have to handle things as much. So it makes life a little bit easier. Now for, I wanted to show you some of the, I showed you a couple, but I wanted to show you some of the Christmas ornament ones. Like this one was a basic ornament. And then I took some of the sticks, like I showed you on the piece of paper here, and just made this crisscross pattern so it looks like a segmented roof. And these are wreaths that I bought already made that they sell at the hobby store. And again, these are like the stars that were on that piece of paper. And this is another ornament. It's not really very Christmassy, but they had these round lifesavers. Is it a lifesaver? Yeah. In miniature that I did. Plus they have these fences that you can buy. That come like this to put on your birdhouse if you want to make it look like it's fenced in. I told you about the glue. As I say, other materials, of course, with the twigs, the pine cones, twigs from your yard can be used like on the roof. Ribbon, as I said, the buttons, you know, where I just cut the shanks off, or if the buttons that are pre-decorated that have the 2 holes in them, but you can't really see them once they're against a surface. So there's all of those things. And then when it's all dried, I like to take, this is another example of one where I did with a stencil. But after it's dry, I go in with a permanent marker and do some outlining. It just makes the design pop a little bit more. And this is a butterfly that's been applied that I painted myself. If the birdhouse is going to go outside, you need to paint it with polyurethane. Now, I have a can and I use a paintbrush to do it. There is polyurethane spray cans, but I've had trouble with them remaining sticky. I can't seem to get them to be unsticky, even when I let them dry forever and ever. So and this, you also can get a lot more on it to make it, you know, really weatherproof. So this is polyurethane, and I got it at Ace Hardware. The various decor, if you want to use it both for your big birdhouses or for your little Christmas ones, this is a great time to be buying that sort of stuff because they have all the things out for Christmas. They have like these bendable pine things that are great for decorating. Artificial snow you can sprinkle on. Lots of like glittery beads and stuff that you can put on. Bows. So are there any other questions? Okay. Does anybody want me to demonstrate anything or anything?
Yeah, do that. Demonstrate how you would, you know, maybe, well, demonstrate whatever you'd want to demonstrate.
Okay. Well, let me as you can see, because this is a dark background, I'm putting yellow on. It's gonna have to have several layers in order for it to really show up.
And how long does it take to dry between those layers?
Maybe 10 minutes. Make sure you shake it before you use it. Why is this not working? Okay. This I'm taking right from the bottle. Which needs more shaking. But often I dump it onto a palette so that I can mix or have a bunch ready to use. I have squirt out just enough for what I think I'm going to be needing. I like to use old kitchen towels that are holey and stuff. One that you can wash them very easily and you're not wasting a bunch of paper towels. And just seems more economically friendly.
Are there special brushes that you buy?
These are some of them I bought. Some of them are left over from when I used to do makeup years ago, as part of my job at the opera and the ballet. But a lot of them some people like to have really wonderful brushes, but I don't know, you can get them in packs that look like this at Joann's and Michael's and stuff that have several different kinds of brushes in them. For painting large surfaces, I love these ones that have an angle on them because you can paint like that very easily. Then you need, I like to try to make the brush the same size as what I want to put on it. So this brush is about the same width as what this arch is that I'm doing. So I have both flat and round brushes. So,
Judy, we have a question in the chat about
okay.
spray painting. And I notice on this one, excuse me, that the roof is a different color than the house itself.
It's just bare wood.
So the question is, do you cover the roof or remove it? And then
Well,
just spray paint?
You can't remove it because I don't know how you put it back on.
Okay.
But for this one, I just took it outside and held it and sprayed it, and then turned it on its side and sprayed the inside of the roof. It worked pretty well. I find that it's easier. I don't know. I just paint the roof by hand all the time. I suppose I could spray paint it, but this one has so many elements, you know, the spines and the layered roof, and then the top part and everything. So I usually just paint that by hand because I usually make each part a different color.
Yeah.
Judy, do the birdhouses that you buy unfinished, do they always have the hanger attached like that, or do you attach?
Use, don't. For that, this one didn't have a hanger. So I put in what's called an eye hook, which is what this is right here. It's a loop with a screw on it, and you screw it into the top of the birdhouse. And then I just have a ball of twine that I make my own hanger from. Whoops. So that's doubled over and with just a knot in it.
So those other birdhouses though that have the bigger hanger, those come like that, or do you
Yeah.
do those too?
A lot of them come with a hanger in it. It just depends on how they're manufactured. I mean, this one comes with a hanger that's just like a hunk of string. So what I do is I glue the end together and I shove it in the hole with this one so that it becomes a hanger like this. So I cut the end off and glue it together, and then so it's like the end of a shoelace, and then I shove it in and glue the whole thing together inside so it hangs in a hole like that. Well, here's one, another example of with the buttons on it. I just thought these buttons were so interesting, so I used only those.
Where do you find those buttons?
I found them on Amazon. I just put in, I think I put in decorated buttons, decorated wooden buttons. It's amazing what you can find on Amazon. As I say, sometimes I can hear myself echoing in my head. Sometimes as I say, you can get inspiration from all different things, or sometimes the newest thing that I've ordered or picked up inspires me to do a whole birdhouse around it. So it just sort of depends. For those of you who are really interested in, getting a closer look, I know we're in COVID, but I have outdoor space. I mean, you're more than welcome to contact me, and we can do something together, or I can show you in person some of the things if you're interested in doing anything for gifts for Christmas or anything like that. So later I don't know if you've gotten, I've given Carol both my phone number and my email address. So if you're interested in doing something closer together, I have tables and stuff outside where we can distance ourselves and wear masks and everything.
We've got that in the chat. So everybody that look in your chat and you'll see her phone number and her email address.
As Carol said earlier, all the birdhouses are for sale. She has a posting showing, giving them numbers and stuff. If you're interested in purchasing any of these, that would be great. The proceeds from the sales go to the Clayton Valley Women's Club and is part of our scholarship fund for a student at DVC, as well as supporting local charities like the Historical Society of both Concord and Clayton, the Clayton Library. We usually pick one local charity, like we've contributed one year to ARF, other times Monument Crisis Center. there's, I forget what it's called. Anyway, Advocates for Children, that is one of them. I can't remember the real name of it, but we try to do both the scholarship and 1 or 2 large charities that are local, as well as the smaller donations to the, as I say, the library and the 2 historical societies. And because of COVID this year, of course, we're not making any money. So I'm trying to sell birdhouses to add to what we have, what members have donated, to try to keep up our charitable work, even though it's a odd time. So if you are interested in any of them, please email me or call me and tell me. Since Carol posted it, I've also made a couple of other ones. So if you're interested in seeing those, I can certainly email you the pictures of them. Are there any questions? Nope. Okay. Is there anything anybody wants me to show them?
Well, there was a comment here. It says just a comment from Diane Cather. She's been making fairy gardens and am now seeing that many cute little items from that section of the store would be perfect for these birdhouses.
Yes.
And she had asked to know, do you remove the roofs or cover them? Well, that was already answered. So anyway.
Well, I mean, they're constructed in such a way with glue and nails and stuff that I don't know how I would get the roof on and then get it back off again. I would be afraid I would destroy it if I did that. Like I said, someday I would like to be able to make these myself so that I can pre-paint sections of it and do other interesting things. But yes, I've gotten several things for fairy gardens. They have, I don't have one right now, but I've gotten some wonderful little benches and arches and lamp posts and things like that that are for fairy gardens, and made a bigger platform underneath the birdhouse so that I can use some of those things. So yes, that's another place in the store that you can look and find some really interesting things.
Carol,
Yes.
can I ask a question? None
Sure.
of my chat questions are going through. That's
All
why.
right. Ask
Ooh.
your question, Mary Esther.
Okay. Where do you get the those little cutouts?
You can order those on Amazon. They have them at Hobby Lobby, and Amazon has the most.
Okay.
And find some of them at Michael's and Joann's and Hobby Lobby.
So
But-
what do you search on Amazon for those cutouts? What terms do you use?
Wooden cutouts.
Hmm.
And it'll take you to the craft section. If you have something specific like hearts or flowers or butterflies, just type that in too, and you can see a whole selection of things. I typed in birds recently. I've not used any on the ones that I showed you, but I found these wonderful birds that I think are really nice. And I'm dying to try to use that again.
How about
then
the little bugs, the little bees, and where do you get those?
I got those on Amazon as well. And then I just found these recently, these flowers that are like a flower and a butterfly.
Huh.
But I've made several flowers out of these. Just painted them and then made stems and leaves on my own. These are really feathers, but I've used them as leaves several times. They're not really leaves, they're feathers, but I won't tell if nobody else does, so.
For the main part of the birdhouse, how many coats does it usually take?
Well, if you spray paint it one, depending upon how intense you want the color, if you're hand painting it, 1 or 2 coats probably.
Okay.
But as I say, if you're gonna put it outside, definitely put polyurethane on it. Otherwise, the paint will run in the rain or it will weather and stuff. I have a couple that I've had outside for a couple of years and they seem, I mean, the sun has faded them a little bit, but you know, no paint running or anything like that. They don't seem to be cracking or anything of that nature.
Do you use polyurethane on the ones inside the house or inside?
Haven't, but you can.
Okay.
Judy, I bought a couple of birdhouses from you and I have them outside. I don't know if you polyurethane them.
I
So
did.
You did. Great, thank you.
I mean, I used, depends on when it was. There was a kind I bought at Joann's, which was not as heavy duty as the can is. They said it would be okay, but I don't know. I just like the stuff in the can really seems to like just seal it. And I like it better. Like I said, it's an ongoing thing. As I say, as I go along, I learn more and more what I can and cannot do, what works best and what doesn't work best. And as I say, I just discovered the Gorilla Glue recently. I guess you could also do crazy glue. But as I say, you have to be prepared. You have to know what's going to go against what, because it dries really fast. But the good thing about it is if your inspiration is running wild, you can get a lot of it done very quickly. You don't have to sit there and wait while something dries to put something else on. But I mean, it's probably a lot more expensive too, and this one has a brush in it, which makes it really easy. But you have to make sure that you don't glue your fingers to things.
Judy, did you say that Amazon has a good inventory of the birdhouses or
Yeah,
the stores?
oddly enough, at this point, I don't know if everybody and his uncle is doing birdhouses right now, but a lot of, or it could be because of COVID and where they're made. They're probably all made in China or someplace like that. And the supply isn't as abundant as it has been in the past. So I don't know. I found a birdhouse that I liked at Michael's, but they didn't have it at the one in Pleasant Hill. So I drove out to, I don't know, where was it? Antioch, not Martinez, Antioch, what's it called? Bay Point, whatever. I drove all the way out there to get it because you don't get free shipping on something that only costs like, $7 or $8.
Yeah.
Oh, and besides, I've never been out there before, so I drove out there. That was the same day I went and picked up the other, the stuff at Michael's in Pleasant Hill. So, that's right. I went to Michael's in Pleasant Hill, got some of it, and then drove out to Bay Point or wherever. Or is that it? Anyway, and
Brentwood,
picked up.
maybe. Brentwood?
Yeah, way out there.
Yeah.
But I noticed yesterday I had to go in and take care of a friend for the day yesterday. And I noticed there's one in Pinole, which might be a little bit easier to get to. I think it's even closer if you take 4 because it's right off 4 on 80. But yeah, sometimes, because Amazon's free. That's no problem. But like Joann's and Michael's and Hobby Lobby and stuff, if you order it online, have it sent to you, they have like a $50 minimum or something. And sometimes I don't want $50 worth of stuff. They don't have $50 worth of what I want. So
What's the typical cost of an unfinished birdhouse that you pay, the base cost?
these, and most of the large ones I've shown you, well, this is like $5.99. This one I just like the shape of it and stuff. So I think I actually spent $9.99 on this one. But usually I don't spend that much. These on Amazon were $4.99, which I thought was a pretty good deal. And the little ones usually run $1.99 or $2.99.
Mm.
How much is the teapot?
I think this was, I think it was $7.99.
Sprinkling can, not a teapot.
Well, yeah. But it just depends. And then sometimes like Michael's has had some good sales over the past year or so, and they have things that are marked down, but you know, things that are normally like $5.99 are suddenly, you know, $3.99 or something. It's, so I always keep my eye out for those if there's anything that goes on sale that I particularly like to deal with.
And then they have 50% off coupons sometimes too, right? That you can, if it's the regular price, you can get 50% off.
Mm.
Wow. Are there any other questions that people have about any processes or where to buy supplies?
So Judy, you can email us some of the birdhouses that you have for sale that you've designed.
Actually, there's some posted on this.
I'll share the screen one more time, and if people want to see that, I can stick the shared screen thing in an email to each of you.
I would like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let me just.
It's, if for some reason two people want the same birdhouse, either, you know, we can look at alternatives, or if it's something that you really, really want, I probably can duplicate it. So, you know, if for some reason you're not able to get the one that you wanted, you know, we can make arrangements to do it. They don't, I mean, I have a whole lot of other stuff going on right at the moment. So, and like I said, sometimes I get inspired in the evening and I suddenly look at the clock and it's after midnight and I'm out here painting.
Wow.
If for some reason something's not available, I'm sure that we can either find you something else or I can duplicate the one you have. Like this one, which I think her name was Joanne in the village. I haven't been able to connect with her yet, but I ended up making 4 of these exactly alike because there were 4 different people who wanted it.
Oh,
It is possible.
Okay. Oh, a question.
Yes, how do you access the recording of this presentation, which was, by the way, fabulous? Thank you.
yeah.
What I'm going to do is post it onto the YouTube channel, the Clayton Valley Village
Okay.
YouTube. And I'll send an email to everybody who was a participant today with that
Okay.
information so that you'll be able to find it. It'll also be posted on our Clayton Valley Village website under the Lunch and Learn events. So.
Okay.
But that won't happen probably today. It'll take a couple days.
Yeah, okay.
So
I just want to say I love my birdhouses that I have already, and I had made a list here of people I'm going to be seeing, and I think that the little ones make a lovely gift. The big ones too.
right.
So you'll be hearing from me more.
Okay, well, I mean, we look like we have a little bit more time. What I can do, if you would like, is I can just go through and show them. Okay, these are 2 that are smaller, and this one has a twirly thing. which does blow in the wind if
That
it's
is
wind.
so cute. Jeez.
What number is that? What number is that one?
I don't know.
That's OR5.
OR5.
And then this is a little mini lighthouse with the life preserver and the fence.
OR4.
Thank you, Carol.
This is another little bitty one. It's not Christmas, but it's fun.
That's OR3.
This is a Christmas one. This is all just hand painted. There's no, there's a little snowman on this heart.
OR7.
You saw this one earlier.
OR1.
And this one has the wreaths and stuff and has a little bird. Right here.
OR2.
And this one has a little Christmas tree and with a star and stuff.
That's OR8.
Oh, and this one with the twigs. And then again, it has a little bird too.
Oh,
And that's OR6.
This one has the star buttons as flowers.
That's BH7.
This is a yellow one with the stencil design.
That's BH3.
This is a spray painted one with hand-drawn flowers.
It's BH5.
This is one of my Mexican pottery inspired ones.
mm,
That's BH6.
This one has no number yet, but it's the red roof with the stenciled flowers. This is all hand painted. It's red with hand painted flowers and the green roof.
That's BH2.
And this is with applique flowers and leaves. These are wooden cutouts, the leaves and the two flowers, and then I painted them all.
That's BH1. I feel like I'm calling bingo here.
I think that's it for right now. Like I said, I'm finished this one.
There's one that you didn't show, which was BH4, which has buttons all over it, yellow with a blue roof.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Forgot. So this is the one with the buttons. And then I'm going to paint this one with the Mexican design. So this one will, if it piques your interest, I will send you a picture when it's done. And this one with the stenciled flowers. I don't know what colors I'm doing on it yet, but anyway. So I have things in the works.
You can show them the ones that I've reserved if somebody would want a copy of those made. These are ones I bought.
Yeah, this is the Mexican inspired one.
oh, yeah.
Served. And another Mexican inspired one
Mm.
with the sunflowers. And this one with the applied flowers and the bees. I have a couple more of these. I haven't been able to find them since, but as you can see, they're little bees with wings and stuff.
And Judy, show them how you autograph the bottoms of them.
It just says J Diz.
That way, you know, you've got an original. I talked her into that because it's like you can hold on to that and now you know you've got an original.
But anyway, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some tips and some ideas. And
Judy, I think you did an absolutely marvelous job. I'm
Yes,
really,
you did.
really-
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye all.
we'll end the meeting now and I'll make the recording available and send you all an email.
Thank
when it's
you.
done.
Thanks,
Thank
Judy.
you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Judy.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for coming.